One of the ways I think that we can do that together is by a common understanding of the IPP. So I won't spend too much time here because you have a copy of this IPP, but I just want to explain what some of these items mean. So we want to foster this idea that student teachers try to accommodate linguistic difference. So that means that it's important that the student teacher knows about the language background of the students. We shouldn't be able to say to an intern in November, does the child speak other languages in the home? And the intern reply, yeah, I think so, but I don't really know what. That's kind of crucial information for a teacher to know. So student teachers should know about the language backgrounds of the students in the classroom. The student teacher should also be trying to develop these kind of language flexibility and language awareness in the students in the classroom. There's some really good resources online. There are some online programs called language awareness that researchers in Canada have developed, where there are little activities that teachers can do, games that you can play with children to help them learn about other languages in nice ways. In the instruction, if there are children in the classroom who are bilingual, or who are learning English as an additional language, or who come from homes where English is spoken differently, the student teacher should be working to try to engage the learners and use language in different ways to help them understand the content. So on the other end, we have incidental or convenient attention to linguistic difference, so it's only sort of on the fly. We want to see more deliberate planning around these things. The understanding that the nonverbal is important. So if a child is arriving in the classroom and really is just learning English, then maybe we need to do a lot of pointing to images. Maybe we need to, have a partner with the child. It's a really good idea if there are children who speak the same language in the room to group them together so they can support one another. Thinking about how refusals, apologies, requests, instructions are done differently. So we see these differences across social classes, but we also see them across language groups. So even just the space that we leave between us and another person, it might be done differently in other communities where I like a ton of space. Like, I don't want somebody in my bubble when I'm talking, but sometimes people just keep moving into it. So these are differences. Volume, the way we apologize, or the way we make an order in a restaurant. I tend to do a lot of what we call hedging. So I wonder would it be possible if, would you mind, when you have a chance, could you? I try to distance myself from the request that I'm making. And you could be in a place in the United States where they might say something like, yeah, give me which is a very different way of making a request in a restaurant. So sometimes when we see people doing those things differently, we immediately jump to that person's being rude, that child is being disrespectful. But it might just be that the rules that govern their way of doing communication are a little different from mine. So we have to make sure that we don't jump to conclusions about the nonverbal communication. There are other things that might be going on. And then finally, in terms of written language, we've changed a little bit how we describe what we're looking for there. So in terms of sharing the IPPs, I'm not trying to tell you how to score these items. I just want you to understand what we are trying to foster by making these items look a little differently than they used to in the past. And that is the end. I'm not sure if I went over or not, but if you have any questions, you can reach me by email.